Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like Dmitry Medvedev was really activated since the Russian military operation, special military operation in Ukraine, because he says certain things that no one else says them. And I don't think that it's a coincidence. He just got angry, I don't know, 2 years ago. Or not angry, but being so outspoken because he was the soft speaking Russian. If you remember, these guys looked at Medvedev as being actually, right here, being the most Western, whatever, inclined Russian leader. And now he's the biggest mouth in the Kremlin. Now, let me show you how he called his French diplomats and why he called them that way. Maybe if you remember, if you don't, I will tell you. Yeah, I think yesterday I made a video called France's Amnesia. Russia is the aggressor. Ukraine has the right to defend itself. So the French were making the case for the Belgorod bombardments of civilians. Ukrainians, according to Russians, bombarded Belgorod, killed about 23 people, 110 other civilians injured, hurt. And this is the article I made yesterday. And I said, France amnesia, Russia is the aggressor, Ukraine has the right to defend itself, and slash bombard Belgorod, French said. What actually happened over there? The French said that since Ukraine is attacked, they could probably hurt civilians in Belgorod, in Russia. And then I used two examples to remind the French that they were the aggressors in Yugoslavia and they were the aggressors in Iraq. Therefore, using the same stupidity, the Iraqis or the Serbs would have been entitled to bomb or in, let's say, Paris. Now that's idiotic. I'm 100% certain that the French will not, the politicians will not argue the same way when it's them. Will argue only when they don't like someone. That tells me that's not objectivity, there's no justice, there's no values, there's no character. So let's go to this article that I have today, and it's from Russia Today. Let's see what Medvedev has to say. Medvedev labels French diplomat, because of what I said, and I'm quoting, scum, bastards, and freaks. The ex-president responded to Paris describing the Belgorod carnage as Ukrainian quote-unquote self-defense. Watch the video right here, and you will see my take and deeper into this, dive deeper. The French foreign ministry has justified Russia's historic dislike of French by declaring the Ukrainian massacre of civilians in Belgorod to be self-defense, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev claimed on Wednesday. All right, Ukrainian artillery struck the central square of the Russian city with cluster bombs on Saturday, injuring over 100 civilians and killing 25. The Russians did the same thing, okay? But doesn't make two wrongs don't make a right, as these guys are saying here, and everybody's proud to say it. Like they said, some Platon's quote. Asked about it on Wednesday morning, a spokesman of the foreign ministry in Paris said that Ukraine was, and I'm quoting, acting in self-defense, while Russia was, and I'm quoting, an aggressor state, end quote, responsible for any, and I'm quoting, human tragedies that accompany the conflict. Well, any was not in quotation mark, just so you know. Pay attention to these kind of things. It's Russians, because they could have taken that out and say responsible for human tragedies that accompany the conflict. But if you say human tragedies, that means in general. And I'm quoting, we never liked the French, end quote, Medvedev said in a Telegram post. And I'm quoting, the frogs fought a war against us, end quote. He added, referring to Napoleon Bonaparte's ill-fated 1812 invasion. Now, let's go further. I'm going to make a little point here. Now, we are convinced of this. The French Foreign Ministry said that the strike on Belgorod using cluster munitions was self-defense. He added, and I'm quoting Medvedev, scum, bastards, freaks. something that Medvedev avoids regarding fought against us. Wasn't the Crimean War only Brits fighting the Russians, or was it also the French? I know the Brits were 100%, but I also remember the French was also involved. And if I remember correctly, the Russians were kind of fucked in Crimea. But let me look over it so I don't say shit here. And I was right. Here it is, Crimean War. The Crimean War was fought from October 1853 to February 1856 between the Russian Empire and an ultimately victorious alliance of the Ottoman Empire, France, and United Kingdom. See that? That's France over there. Got it? So Medvedev here avoids that Russia got fucked by the alliance, but hey, what can you do? The French responsible to the Belgrade response to the Belgrade massacre echoed the official position of the European Union, which has fully endorsed Kiev. And I'm quoting, in general, Ukraine has the legal right to self-defense. In general, that's a weasel. Anyway, EU foreign policy spokesman Peter Stano, that's a guy that I covered as well, said on Wednesday regarding the specific incident in Belgorod, no information that comes from Russia can be considered trustworthy. Well, that's true, but so is true for the Americans and you. But we have evidence or we don't have evidence. The Russians provided some videos. I watched a few of them. Now, it doesn't mean that they were in Belgorod. I've never been in Belgorod, so I can't tell you. But some people who were in Belgorod can tell you if that's Belgorod or not. And easily I can go on Google Map probably, or not Google Map, something else, and go over there on the street and I can see exactly. Try to find the exact location where the video depicted the arrival of a missile. Now, that missile could have been fired by the Russians, not the Ukrainians. That's true. In a war, they do that. But still, this guy's, his argument is cannot be trustworthy. But you can? Yeah, why? Because I identify as a trustworthy person. Okay, you're fucked up not philosophy, it's too much for them. Infantile mentality is in display. Although Kiev forces have struck Russia's borders regions for months, the December 30th attack on Belgorod was the worst of its kind over the course of the conflict. Moscow has accused the US and the UK of helping plan the attack, while a security source told Russia today that Ukrainian President Zelensky personally ordered the massacre. Again, it comes from the Russians, but skepticism, that's what it is. Russia has reported that with drone we don't care about that one. The fact is, this guy calls them scum, bastards, and freaks, and he did not forget history. As I told you many times, when you say, well, the Poles love Ukrainians, they're gonna love the Ukrainians. The Poles don't love Ukrainians. The Poles don't love the Germans. The Poles don't love the Hungarians. The Poles don't love the Russians. That's clear. All of them? No, not all of them. But if you speak with the guys in charge, they will tell you, we want the western part of Ukraine. We want some from Germany. We want everywhere. We want a lot of things. They want a lot of territories, like many other countries in Europe. Like, I don't know, the Hungarians want Transylvania and everything around them, like because it were part of the Austro-Hungary Empire, and they say, well, that was ours. Austria definitely wants a lot of things. Bulgaria wants, everyone wants something. Why? Because at one point in time in history, they overlapped, or this country got over, then were pushed back and all that. So they always say, oh, between those 50 years, that territory belonged to us. That's our. And the other guys, no, but that territory was ours for 200 years, but it was ours for 23 years. And then that's how it goes. And then you have population over there, and they say, oh, how about we defend our population? Like United States told Mexico regarding Texas. There was before the Sudetenland. Remember when that bad guy Adolf told Czechoslovakia, oh, you're attacking our guys over there, we need Sudetenland. And then they went again in, took all Czechoslovakia, together with Poland. Poland got its territory. When Hitler invaded to take and then invaded, they had a pact with Poland. And Poland got from the north, they got something. Why? Because the Poles are very virtuous. One of my point is, they all want something. So they don't forget, because crimes occurred both sides. If you hear a nation, we never call harm garbage. There's somewhere that you ask the neighbors. That's the best way to find out. Hey, did these guys ever commit a crime? Let me get the list. All of them, because we are all human. That's what we do in our animalistic, I don't want to say instincts, but whatever we are at, we pretend, yeah, we're civilized. Yeah, we're civilized. When did we become civilized? 20 years ago? 50 years ago? 1,000 years ago? If you want to see how civilized we are, just look, for instance, at how Mussolini was treated. If you want, look how the how should I put them? Those criminals in the Second World War were treated in front of Nuremberg trials. You want to see how civilized we are? Look what they did to Saddam Hussein. Look what they did to what's his name, Muhammad Gaddafi. Look what they did to Gaddafi. Do you think they would not do this to Putin? Just like this. And they're a civilized people. And not only, look what happened in Minnesota, United States of America, a few years ago. Was that civilization in the streets of America? Was that civilization? You gotta be kidding me, my friends. And not only, you can go on and on and on. No, we have rules. They had rules as well, but they enforce them here more than other places, and it's politics. Those guys in Minnesota could have been cleaned in 40 minutes, 30 minutes, out. Not killed or anything. No, I'm not saying that. They would have been out with their little hoo-ha, out in 30 minutes. But the order was not given. The order, it was stand down. So here it is, my friends. So when Medvedev talks about, oh, these guys, French, we never liked them, they look back in history. On the other hand, the French can say, well, wait a minute, you went to Moscow, to Paris as well. Remember when poor little Napoleon, not little, but because I like Napoleon, but I said little because he was screwed by the Bourbons and other mofos. All right, when he went to Moscow and then he went back, and then these guys came, where did they go? He abdicated. Why? Because they got to Paris. It was a stab in the back. Traitors everywhere, all the time. That's the way we are. Interest, my friends, and we are weak. We are weak. How do we become strong? Getting involved, through direct experience. That's how you get strong. You test yourselves. We test ourselves in real life, real action. It's not to stay here in front of you and tell you how tough I am. But you have anything to prove? Well, look back and see. Or look forward and try and get involved. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.